Okay. It says landscape mode. I don't want to rotate the face. I like this one. Right, that sucked. Do it that way. No, it's stupid. You can see the line. Well, there's that. And there's me. Just do things the way you want to. This totally sucks. This is not at all the way I had imagined this in my mind. Um, I wanted to talk about Captain Marvel because I had a lot of thoughts about it. And I just saw it yesterday. I figure it's now Saturday. People should have seen it by now. And if you saw if you saw, I really don't want that cross on the background because I don't offend anyone. There we go. If you saw the trailers and the promotions for this movie, maybe you were excited for it, maybe you weren't. I was excited when I heard Brie Larson was cast as Captain Marvel. Jeez. Really see how much hair I've lost. Good lord. Sheesh. Um, and I kind of look like Louis C.K. with this goatee. I think I should lose the goatee. Boy, this really grew out and this didn't. That sucks. Um, I don't know how people on YouTube do this. I really don't, cause I don't like the way I look, and I don't like being on camera as much as I used to. I think I would do better just talking, like a podcast or something like that, where I didn't have to be directly on camera. Also, do better when I have someone to talk to and bounce ideas and dialogue off of. So I'll just start talking because we're already 4 minutes in, and I plan to keep this short. And since it's live, I can't really restart it now. It's too late, so it is what it is. And thankfully, no one will ever see this, so no one's ever gonna laugh at the first 4 minutes. But I'm sure they'll find a way to. So anyways, I was not excited for this movie, other than the fact that I knew it was going to lead to Endgame. Lately, I'm disagreeing with Marvel and their choices to release films so quickly that I think like when we used to get 2 Marvel movies a year, that was great because those two were going to be huge. And it was going to be like a new chapter. And it's like, okay. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't want to wait 6 months between movies, but putting this so close to Endgame, a lot of people are thinking, like, oh, why do I need to go see this? Because I can just go see Captain Marvel and Endgame. And I wouldn't say you should go see it to know who Captain Marvel is and know her backstory and all that jargon, because honestly these characters are they're so easy to follow that you could miss a lot of movies and still watch like an Avengers movie and be like, oh, okay, this was a great movie. Now, I'm the type of person that I get upset when people do that, but at the same time, like, uh, but right, if you are gonna go see these movies out of order or just you don't know much about them, okay, that's great. Get this is an awkward camera angle. I tried to sit as low as I could. Let me try to put this up a little higher. There we go. We'll still keep the cross out of it. I don't see why I can't do that. Landscape mode, because that would be much better. Much better. And now we're in 1966 Batman villain mode. So my thoughts are a little scattered. I'll give you that. That looks a little bit better. Right. So if you do happen to stumble across this, and say you're not like a comic book fan, you're against it, and you happen to go to a Marvel movie, okay, good for you. Give it a try. But then go back and start with Iron Man and do the correct order. But people that just show up and they have no idea what's going on and they're asking a million questions, like, don't do that. Do yourself a favor, rent them from the library, borrow them from a friend. I'm sure you know somebody that has these movies. They're out there. They've been around since 2008. You can easily get your hands on superhero movies. Heck, even the DVD. Well, no, ever since I take that back. Ever since Disney bought the DVDs, or not, Disney bought Marvel. The even like Iron Man on DVD will go for what, $15, $20, something ridiculously high. Even though that movie came out 10 years ago, it's still being sold at high rates. I think Iron Man 3 is going for like $22 in Blu-ray. And that's insane. Like, it's just ridiculous. They're just capitalizing on the on the success of the films. So I'm not telling people you need to go see this because it leads to Endgame. Like, oh, I cut out Barry Allen. I'm gonna put Barry Allen back in because I don't want to leave out the Flash. We'll move that over a little bit. There we go. Now I'm hanging with Barry and Zatanna. So I told nobody that I was doing this, so nobody's watching it. Which doesn't help because I need people to bounce dialogue off of. But it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday night, so I guarantee that everyone else in the entire world has something better to do than check out my live review of Captain Marvel. So, I'm going to pretend like I'm just going to say what I have to say, and that's going to be that. Whoever sees this, sees this. Whoever doesn't, doesn't. I'm not going to get any sponsorship out of this. I enjoy talking about superhero movies, and I don't have friends to talk. It looks like I have no neck. I'm sitting in a very small chair. I'm actually 6'2". I'm very tall. I do have a neck. I'm just crouched. I'm trying to sit on camera. So, my review of Captain Marvel. The fact that it's a Marvel movie excited me. Phil Coulson, love Coulson from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I'm not sure why they're not on the air right now. Some friends suggested they may be making the move to the Disney streaming service, which would make total sense. Uh, but I think they get less viewers if you actually had to pay to watch it instead of just watching it on ABC once a week. But what do I know? Anyways, like I said from the beginning, Brie Larson, love Brie Larson. I believe she was in 21 Jump Street with Jonah Hill. Just absolutely love her. Total girl next door. Also like California hottie, but kind of down to earth. That was also one of my major problems with this film. Was for the opening act, I was so infatuated with Brie Larson that I found myself not really caring what was the plot, and I was missing things, and I couldn't really pay attention because I was like drooling over Brie Larson. I was like, oh my god, it's Brie Larson. And I kind of felt the like, oh, and there aren't going to be spoilers. I'm not going to give spoilers because I don't spoil movies for people. I give my flat opinion, and I tell you whether or not to go see a movie. And usually I judge movies so harshly. I'll tell you just based on the trailer, don't go see this movie. I'll be like, just save your money. If you're curious about it, wait till it comes out, rent it, or whatever. You pay $4 or $5 online and stream it, or stream it for free on Showbox or whatever program you use. Especially if you have a Fire Stick. If you have a Fire Stick, then by all means, just watch it for free when it comes on. So, I was not excited for this movie. The trailers didn't get me excited, and I really hope people will chime in with comments because we have more. I'll have more to say if I have people to talk to comment about this sort of thing. So, I was not excited for Captain Marvel. It it advertised, and a lot of news and things came out about it that I liked. Like I said, Brie Larson, Sam Jackson, Coulson, Blockbuster, and when I heard that it was going to be set in the 90s, I was like, I'm not crazy about time pieces, and superhero movies are kind of like going all over the timeline. They're not just staying in the current. Um, so I had very low expectations going to this film. But because it's Marvel's superhero film, I said, you know what? Unlike I did with Black Panther, which is stay at home and just wait for Infinity War, I said, let me go see what's going to be in this movie because maybe something will lead to Endgame, or there'll be something in Endgame that I missed in Captain Marvel, and they come out just about under 2 months. Under 2 months between the two films, so I said that's way too close. Let me go see this real quick. And I was like, interested. I was interested to see what was going to happen, but my in my uh my investment in the film, like the money I paid to see it, didn't really start to pay off until like somewhere around, not the beginning, but kind of like past the beginning. and I kind of went along with her on that journey that she goes on. It's an origin, obviously, so that's not a spoiler. So the journey that she goes on as Veers and everything that entitles with her story, I was kind of along with her because I watched a little. Okay, I guess I had a little hiccup there. All right, so I watched a little historical review on Captain Marvel just to get an idea of the character, but even that review didn't have me very interested. She seemed too powerful, uninteresting. Her story is kind of sci-fi, and don't really care. Kind of like Guardians. I didn't have a whole lot invested in Guardians. Um, and Guardians just blew me out of the water. So I wouldn't say this movie blew me out of the water, but it did impress me on many levels. Expected to. So everyone in the film's acting was wonderful. Uh, it was funny, not on a Ragnarok kind of level of funny, but just kind of like that's funny, that's great, Sam Jackson makes the movie. If you love Sam Jackson, then this is a good movie for you to watch. Uh, you know, people people aren't saying it in the reviews, but I picked up on that if this is the end of Phase 3 of Marvel, Marvel Studios is starting a new chapter after 10 years. They're like, after Endgame, it's going to be new characters, new chapter, new direction. If they are doing that, then this movie kind of they went back in time and kind of tied up all the little fillers of the little fillers of Shield and Nick Fury and how everything started before Iron Man. So that's pretty cool. I mean, is it better than Revenge of the Sith kind of tie everything up? It wasn't just thrown together. I mean, it is just thrown together, but it was more entertaining. So I've taken up 20 minutes. No one's going to watch this whole 20 minutes. I wanted to know that there are film references. Well, not film. Film. As we all know, Will Smith in the early 90s was big on, in at least two big alien films. He was in Men in Black and he was in Independence Day. So in this film, and this isn't spoilers, you can watch for it, there are Easter eggs for Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, which is paying homage to Will Smith. Then there's a reference to Men in Black, Easter egg. Now, most people aren't going to pick up on it because it's not. I can't say for sure whether the people at the studio, but to me as a Men in Black fan, it's like, okay, that is from Men in Black. It's not the same, but it's in there. And also, there's a scene involving Independence Day. Correct. I mean, it's similar, so similar to the original Independence Day. I'm not talking that remake, which I still haven't seen. And if I do ever get like 2 hours of my life that I don't want back, and I have nothing else to do, maybe I'll take a look at the first 15 or 20 minutes and see if I'm not like already checking my phone because I'm so mind-numbingly bored by how they've ruined a classic. Um, but there is a reference to Independence Day, which I thoroughly enjoy references. I enjoy similarities. I enjoy nods. um, it also had kind of a Star Trek feel to it. If you were a fan of it kind of felt like Star Trek aliens come to Earth. Well, aliens didn't really come to Earth, but Um, it does have kind of a Star Trek feel to it. Some scenes, it's fighting aliens in the desert and that sort of thing. It's like that was the they filmed in those deserts. They filmed the original Star Trek series in those deserts, um, and called it an alien planet. But we all knew it was like it was Phoenix or it was Las Vegas or somewhere out there, California, whatever. So those are references. I haven't looked online to see which Easter eggs the internet community has noticed yet, but those were Easter eggs that I wanted to point out, because the other stuff is so blatant. I mean, it's right in your face. Because it's a 90s film, so it's going to be full of pop culture references and all that jargon. Now, I am agreeing with what people are saying in the reviews, and that is the movie's badly paced, it's badly written, and the it's kind of like a demon thing going on. It was like, okay, the 30-year-old in me was like, basic, this is not great, this is exactly what I was expecting. And then there were other parts in the movie where the angel was like, oh, here's this great gift, here's this awesome scene, here's Brie Larson the entire movie. And Brie Larson the entire movie, which was a total, like I said, was just me fanboy crushing on Brie Larson. And even like even not just her charm and her personality that shows in the film, she put on this badass persona that I'd never seen in her before, where she was straight faced and she's always making these kind of looks at people and she's doing these poses, and it really sold me. I'm just like the it, if you put like Endgame, I have better expectations for Captain Marvel. Like I think once you put her Brie Larson, the actress, playing this what she did in this movie, put that into a big atmosphere where the stakes are higher, where new things are happening and we don't know what's going to happen, and the whole story isn't predictable, minus a few things that I was actually wrong on. But then again, I was right. So at the same time, I was right about 90% of that film. So overall rating, as a nerd, as that little kid, the angel who still loves, you know, things like superheroes overcoming adversity, that sort of thing, I was at a 5 out of 5. Uh, but then came Sam Jackson, of course. But then came the devil, and the devil kind of balanced the scales. So I think this movie is slightly above average. I agree with that. I would not say like I lost my mind. It was so funny. I was laughing the whole movie, like Ragnarok or Guardians. The heart was there. That was another aspect. Heart. And I'm a big old softy, so if you can if oh, this is another thing is that Brie Larson and Jude Law's starting out in the beginning was so rushed. To me, it just felt misplaced. So that's why I kind of started out rough. So those sort of things is what knocks my score down to like I want to be nice to it and give it a 4 out of 5 because it didn't have many mistakes and it did just feel kind of like a filler movie. And another one of those demons was, well, I don't want to say spoiler. Yeah, but there were demons. I don't want to say too much spoilers, but I highly recommend seeing the film. Stick around for mid credit, and I enjoyed the post credit scenes. Most people don't stick around for, but I enjoy them. And that was another thing I was right about. I knew there was going to be a post credit scene, and I knew exactly what was going to be in it, well, or who was going to be in it. So. Mm, I was hoping I would have a few people interested that could ask me some questions. It's kid friendly. The scrolls maybe a little gratuitous, a little gnarly. Little ones probably, under the age of like 6, but nothing, nothing Snyder level of don't bring your kids to this movie. You can absolutely bring your kids to this movie. So I think that's gonna wrap this up for Captain Marvel. I may try to do this again if I can get someone in here that we can do kind of a podcast, like bounce dialogue off of. Tomorrow is the NASCAR race starting at 3:30 o'clock, I believe. Yeah, I think the green flag drops at 3:30. Today's Xfinity race turned out to be a real snoozer. That series is kind of dwindling, so I haven't been covering those races. Um, I might do some coverage. Third stage of Phoenix. I'm not going to do the whole race. There's no way the whole race is going to be entertaining. But until then, anyone who does watch, I appreciate. And I think I said everything I wanted to say about Captain Marvel. All right. Have a good night, everyone.